And you realize that all these people tried to take him down, yet he still stands.
It's not cool to be racist. They want to be covert racist until they get put out on social media.
And including Trump, I think Trump has kind of led the way in acting like Putin isn't who he is. I mean, it just goes back to you can't really trust the government.
These gangs aren't the biggest threat to America.
Who's the biggest threat?
White supremacy. You don't think Dallas is in the South?
No.
It's Texas.
Yeah, that's not the South.
Oh my God. Did you hear this? Texas is the South, my dude. Once again, the Black Summit is in full effect. I am Hendrix.
And I'm Brooks.
And welcome back. And
welcome back.
What's on the agenda for today?
Yeah, so today we're talking about a number of different things. There's going to be a lot of politics, but today we're actually going to talk about Drake again, eventually later on in the podcast. We haven't talked about that in a while, so we're just going to update the situations. Putin and Trump have come to an agreement to pause the attacks on Ukraine. So we're going to be talking about that, this ceasefire. Apparently they had a 1-hour conversation, kind of came to an agreement finally, but it's still not peace. So, but anyways, we'll be talking about that. And then Don Lemon, he had some comments about how you can be black, you can be a black Republican, but you can't be a Black MAGA. And so we'll be getting into those comments that he had to say. He was on Bill Maher's podcast.
Everybody got a podcast.
Yeah, everybody's got a podcast. The JFK files, by the time you'll see this, they'll already be released. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know. Some people feel like it's not going to be a thing, but, we'll see. Because, they've been telling us that the Epstein stuff was going to get released, and we've seen how that's gone.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, the list for Epstein.
That will definitely be redacted.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Yeah. People are going to have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about first the peace not the peace agreement, but the paused attacks on Ukraine. I'm just going to read this. This is from CNN. High stakes call with Putin. President Donald Trump called today with Russia President Vladimir Putin ended with an agreement to temporarily halt attacks on energy and infrastructure targets. The White House and Kremlin both said even as Russia stopped short of signing off on a border ceasefire. The White House did not suggest that Putin had agreed to a U.S.-backed 30-day truce proposal that Trump has endorsed and Ukraine has agreed to. It seems like we're making some progress with, at least them stopping the attacks. What are your thoughts on all this?
Do you think Trump cozies up to Putin like they've been saying?
I think Trump thinks of himself as a deal maker. And so with that in mind, I think that he's trying to make a deal. He's trying to use certain tactics to make a deal. I don't think that he is trying to cozy up to Putin. A lot of people think that, Trump is in Putin's bag basically because Putin has damaging material on him. I don't know if that's all true. But I think I can tell you right now, I don't like how people, and including Trump, I think Trump has kind of led the way in acting like Putin isn't who he is.
Yeah,
Putin is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I've seen this from the Republicans, low key, acting like, oh, Putin's not all that bad. It's like, no, that guy is nobody to be joking about, to be acting like it's normal, like he's some kind of good guy.
Yeah. And,
to me, it's disturbing to see some of the talk around Putin and how people are trying to act normalize him in a way.
Let me ask you something.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Is it safe to say presidents before Trump, right, did any of them interact with Putin on this level? I mean, granted, I get it. You got to talk with other leaders of other countries. But have they interact with Putin the way Trump has?
I don't think so.
Any Republican or Democrat now, not just Democrat.
I mean, you could say some things about, there's a video that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but Obama had a moment with Putin, and he basically said, under his breath, it was a hot mic, and he was like, after the election, we can talk. or something like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was like a big moment. Everybody was like, they felt some type of way about that. Like, oh, he's trying to like talk to Putin.
Oh, after Trump after Obama got elected,
It was something like that. I can't
'Cause he
remember
wasn't
exactly
elected-
the timing, but if you
elected
look
yet.
that clip up, there
Right,
is
right.
something there that happened with Obama. I do remember some things with like GW and him like talking to Putin and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people have to realize that Trump knew Putin before he became president. And he used to do deals over there in Russia and all kinds of stuff. So his relationship is different from any other president because he's actually done business with this guy. And so, again, I don't like the way that Trump is
conducting himself.
Around Putin. And some of the things, like, again, they're trying to normalize him. It's like, no,
because I've
let's not do
always
that.
seen where
So,
any president, Republican or Democrat, before Trump got criticism for being too, I guess, almost like in cohorts with Putin. You know, Republican or Democrat. You know, so I remember back in the '80s, it seemed like the biggest. It wasn't about like in the Reagan era. It wasn't about like South Korea or I mean, I'm sorry, North Korea or whatever. It was always Russia. There's always Russia was like they could be the biggest threat to America. That's what they talk about in the media a lot now. It was always Russia. Of course, now they're talking about North Korea and China is the biggest, you know, and not so much Russia now. But I
just think that it gets heightened when it's Trump, right? And it's not that I'm trying to say that it shouldn't be. It's just I feel like a lot of people have lost their objectivity when it comes to Trump.
Yeah.
And for good reason, because Trump says a lot of stuff that's crazy, that's like out there,
And
right?
that's untrue, yeah.
And that's untrue. And so I understand the heightened thoughts towards Trump whenever he talks. But there's a lot of presidents that have, I feel like, including Obama, who have kind of, maybe not to this degree, right? Obviously. I mean, I remember in the debate between Obama and Mitt Romney, there's that famous clip of Obama saying, you know, Russia is not our threat, you know, like China is, you know, basically in that debate. So, yeah, anyways, he kind of had a little soundbite, I'm like paraphrasing, where he was like, you know, the 1990s or 80s wants their, you know, their joke back or something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but, you know, we don't need to normalize Putin.
Yeah.
We can get a deal done without doing that. And all I want to see ultimately is peace.
Right.
That's what I've been saying. For people who have been watching us for over a year, that's all I've been preaching from right here is peace. And I mean, I've seen with even the Israel stuff is starting to happen again. I think over 300 people died because of their latest attacks. All I want to see is peace. And so even a ceasefire to me is good. So
I think it's good that if he gets, you know, a deal done, which is peace between Ukraine and Russia, regardless whomever it is, if Trump gets it, and hats off to him, kudos to him.
Yeah.
I think some people just feel a way as to whereas he kind of what's Ukraine's president name?
Yeah, Zelensky.
Like how he kind of bullies him.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of talks not talk to him, talk at him, but yet he shows Putin more respect when Putin is the one who attacked Ukraine in the first place, but then turns around and double down and said that Ukraine started the war.
Yeah, and you know, I've been listening to some of the Republicans and what they've been saying, and they've been saying that like that's his way of putting peace together. I just remember during the campaign, Trump talking about how he was going to have this deal done on day one, and look at it. Here we are.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been a while.
True. I knew that wasn't true.
And you know, the administration to me, they're thinking too much about everything else. They're not thinking about the things that matter. Like they want to talk. They're walking around talking about this automatic pin that Joe Biden had that he pardoned a bunch of people with,
Oh.
and all this other stuff. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that. But
Yeah, they're talking about how his automatic signature was on all of these pardons and blah, 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 blah. And then they're over here talking about this over here, and they're talking about this over there. And it's like, can we just focus on what matters? What matters is that we get peace in Ukraine. We get peace, with Israel and all of that.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
That is what matters. But people say that they use these tactics to keep you off focus of what they are actually doing.
Right.
So they throw these other things at you.
They're flooding the system.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the media grabs a hold of these. Biden ain't even in office. Biden probably someplace.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Why are we worrying about Biden?
Bringing up Biden. Then you heard he removed Biden's detail.
Oh, did he?
Yes. They said he removed his.
Is that real?
Security. Yeah.
You can't do that for a former president, though.
I thought you couldn't, but apparently Trump can do whatever.
I know he did that for a lot of officials.
He said he removed Biden's security detail
because
you appointed one for life. That's what I read. Okay. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
They can't do it. Like if that is something, it'll be shot down by a judge.
I don't know.
So
I thought a lot of things take an act of Congress. Apparently, he trumps Congress. So,
well, he is fighting with a lot of judges right now.
Yeah. Because a lot of things he's doing is not even unconstitutional.
Yeah, and even the Supreme Court justice came out and talked against him for doing that. Gorsuch, I believe, was the one who said something
about him using the 1970s.
Oh, sorry, Roberts. It was Roberts.
Yeah,
Roberts rebukes Trump on his comments for impeaching judges. So,
oh yeah, I thought it was something about that gang that he wanted to get removed.
I think that's what they're doing. They're fighting against those judges because they want to.
But I'm gonna be honest to you, man. I'm all for removing gangs. Now I was like, why are they mad at him for wanting to get rid of gangs?
I think
crazy.
Most people are for stuff like that. But again, it's Trump. If Trump puts his name on it, I think.
But then no.
But we can be objective.
Yeah. But I'm all for removing terrorists, removing these gangs.
Yeah.
But I know why they're giving the pushback, because I think they want them to do the due diligence of just other than just removing them to see which ones are here legally. I think they say they're just lumping everybody up together and just getting rid of everybody. But yeah, definitely these gangs, and stuff, like that. But to be honest, these gangs aren't the biggest threat to America.
Who's the biggest threat?
White supremacy. White supremacy is the biggest threat to America.
What do you mean by that? Tell us what you mean by that.
White supremacy, like Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, when they stormed the Capitol. These are your biggest threats to America. And that one group that they covered their face up and they marched, was that Philly?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
They've marched in multiple places.
Yeah, these are your biggest threats, and to be honest with you, I mean, granted, I'm not saying I want no gangs, whether it be white, Hispanic, black, whatever, that's going to commit mass, crimes and things like that. But most of our biggest threat is domestic terrorism. The biggest shooting is mass shooting, and that's done by whom? White Americans. And they're normally shooting people who don't look like them, majority of the time. Or killing innocent. And that's not to say that black people don't commit crimes, Hispanics don't commit crimes. Everybody commit crimes, but when you look at statistics and majority of your mass shootings, and it's a shame, man, that people get numb to the fact, in which we should never be numb to the fact. But I'm still for deporting criminals. I'm definitely for that. For gangs and whatnot. So, and that aspect, I got to side with Trump on that. I have to side with Trump on that. But I guess the judges, they want to make sure that he's not lumping in some innocent people with.
Yeah, hopefully he's not doing that.
Honestly, I don't think they care.
They don't.
Yeah, I think they just want to get them all out.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. I think they just want to get them all out.
All right, so let's move on to Don Lemon. Don Lemon made some comments the other day talking about specifically black people and saying that you can be a black Republican, but he doesn't take a black MAGA person seriously. He doesn't think that it's sincere. And I actually want to play the clip.
Yeah, let's
see if it works.
Say.
That you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
I actually watched the whole podcast. I think it was a pretty good podcast. And I think when I first heard the clip, I was kind of like, what is he what is he saying? What do you there are, of course, like black people who voted for Trump and who are Republicans.
I know some.
It was a little bit like, what are you talking about? But when I listened to the whole podcast, I kind of get what he was trying to say, which is, I think what he was trying to say is the Candace Owens, without saying it, like, he doesn't take those people seriously. What happens is, if you're a MAGA person, they push you out to the front.
Right.
In media.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, the key word is rational. He's not saying you can be MAGA, you can be a Republican, but he's saying you cannot be rational. In other words, when you're rational, meaning you're being practical, right? You're taking things as they are, this common sense. You're more left brain thinking than right brain thinking with emotional. To be MAGA and not be rational is meaning like, okay, a lot of things are fucked up, but you're just going to overlook those just to be MAGA. Am I making any sense?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the key word, is to not be rational, right?
But I mean, like, is he trying to say that there aren't people who like get down with MAGA as a whole? Because I think there are black people. I think, yeah, there are definitely black people, because I interviewed some of them. And, I think they really do believe that when I was out on the campaign.
Yeah. But the thing is.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, which was good work you guys did with the black
thanks.
people who are MAGA, right?
Yeah. The
main reason why the black folks, because they figure that with Trump in office, they're going to have money in their pockets. That's bar none. That's the main reason why black folks will vote for Donald Trump. Even my son's mother, she said that it's about the money. They can overlook everything else. They don't care about nothing else. But the bottom line is about the money, right? I just saw a segment on the Breakfast Club. You know who Pac-Man Jones is, right?
Yeah,
he used to play for your team.
Yeah, he used to play for my team.
He's a heavy Trump supporter.
Right.
Big, and they asked him why. Why do you? And not saying there's nothing wrong with that. He said that's his opinion. I don't care what anybody think. He said look, I'm a person of wealth. He said I got money, and with the tax breaks and the cuts and everything like that, so that's why I support Trump. And in that aspect, I understand.
Yeah.
Because that's what people thinking, that Trump is going to help the little man, but that's not true. The infrastructure isn't designed for that, to help the little person or the working class person. It's designed to help the elite, the top. And that aspect, that's why he voted for Trump. But he said he don't agree with all his policies. He think women should have their own rights and things like that. But he said the bottom line, when it come to his pocket, that's why he voted for Trump. And I feel that's why majority of black people will vote for Trump.
You mean some of them, not the majority?
Well, I mean the majority of black people that voted for Trump. I would say.
So they voted for him because of those things.
Because
that you
of
were
these
just saying.
things, and that's why what Don Lemon says, to be MAGA, you can't be. We say you can't be rational. In other words, you only looking at this, but you're not looking at the entire.
Yeah.
He
did have a follow-up thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's he said? So let's listen to this.
Yeah, what I said about a faction of the MAGA movement being racist. Okay, well, I like to give evidence, and that's a fair question. First of all, Bill Maher asked me about it on his podcast and gave me an example of an SNL skit where a MAGA person was refusing to shake a black person's hand. Okay, this was just months after a senator was being sworn in, and her husband refused to shake the black vice president's hand, even though he had done it before with white president, liberal president, Joe Biden? How about the MAGA movement refusing to acknowledge that there is a history of slavery and a legacy of slavery in this country that still has its vestiges and there is systemic racism? How about them leaning into the Great Replacement theory? Or how about them in 2016 throwing peanuts at a black person in the audience at a MAGA rally? How about Donald Trump not wanting to rent to black people in the 1970s and then being sued by the Justice Department? What about him calling for the death of the exonerated five? What about him calling African nations shithole countries? How about him and others referring to the black vice president of the United States as a DEI hire?
So yeah, that's what he had to say. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think he brought up an interesting point, but he's wrong only because I have met the people who are, MAGA, who are black. And I think there are a lot of people
who are rational.
Like you said, the majority of them probably just voted for him because, they felt like he was for the small people. But there are MAGA black people who are all about it. And they're all about everything that Trump is about, and
deportation.
And they actually bring up so many different points of, oh, this is why and that's why, and they try to find moments where Trump wasn't being a racist. They highlight those.
Oh, okay.
Trump before he ran for president, was a cultural figure that a lot of black people talked about, right?
Yeah,
in their music, and a lot of he was in movies. He did all kinds of stuff before.
Yeah.
And so I think they find those kind of moments where it's like, I mean, I know he helped out Jesse Jackson back in the 90s or something. Someone told me. So they find those moments.
Any old white man that may have bigotry, am I surprised? No. Look at the era they lived in, It was okay to have stereotypes and things like that.
Yeah.
Can people change? Yes, they can change. I mean, even look at your boy, the owner for the Cowboys.
Jerry Jones.
The picture they caught of him.
They caught him.
Yeah, and then Stephen A. Smith said, man, dude, that was a long time ago. True.
Right.
It was a long time ago. Can he change? Yes, he can change, but that's what I'm saying. Any old white man who lived that long ago, come on, man. I mean, there's going to be some bigotry or some form of racism or something, but can people change? Yeah. Has Trump changed? I don't know. I'm not here to say that Trump has changed. Whatever. Yeah. But yeah, in hip-hop, they talked about Trump a lot. When Puff used to have those parties back in the day, Trump was at some of his parties.
Yeah.
He hung up with Jeff Epstein. So yeah, he I don't think he wasn't cultural, but they try to implement him into black culture to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, there's what's that guy's name? Judge Joe Brown.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video of him talking about Trump and how Trump used to date a black girl, and he's talking about all kinds of stuff with Trump, just trying to
humanize him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, even on The Apprentice, I'm still a fan of that show.
He's watching the show. Look at this man. This man's secretly MAGA.
I like The Apprentice, man. It dealt in business. I like The Apprentice. But even there was when they did Celebrity Apprentice, with, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I heard Claudia Jordan, beautiful model, used to be a model, and she's still a celebrity public, and she was on it. I think she said Trump tried to hit on her. I think he tried to kiss her or something like that. I'm not sure, and she's beautiful. So, come on, that's retarded. Will he mess with a black woman? Of course he will. That's more. Hell, look in slavery, they've been raping black women. So I don't think that's a fair. That's not a fair synopsis. Will a white man mess with a black? Of course they will. Will a black man mess with a white woman? Of course, Brooks will. Just bigotry ways or whatever practice they use. Of course, a lot of people, a lot of older white men, that's just to be expected in that time and that era, that they come from. It doesn't surprise me if you with Jerry Jones. That didn't surprise me either. This dude, but 90-something.
Yeah.
And he from the South too. Of course he had. I'm sure he was. If he wasn't, he was influenced by some racist things.
Yeah.
And it amazed me that I saw the picture of him and I was like, dang, I wouldn't know that was him.
Right,
Don't look
right.
the same to me, but you know.
Well,
that's what it is.
with those things, it's always like everybody now, because we've already been through slavery, we've already been through the Jim Crow, we've already been through all of the different things.
Yeah.
I think that everybody now would, of course, be like, oh, I would never do that. You know
Of
what I
course,
mean?
yeah,
They-
of
that's how
course.
they, oh,
That's what I'm
I would
saying.
never be about that. But
Yeah.
when you're in it, you know,
Yeah.
back then,
Back then,
you
yeah,
know,
it was
a thing.
It was Jim Crow. That was culture.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
that
Yeah.
was you know, to be a bigot, to be it wasn't shunned like it is now. Like
Yeah.
all there racist people, yes, there are racist people.
There are,
but it's
for
not
real.
it's not cool
So-
to be racist. They want to be covert racist until they get
Yeah.
put out on social media and they put them on blast and let their employers know.
Yeah,
and
but
then
what
they
I,
come
what
in
I
there
always say
crying,
is that those people are
apologizing.
being weeded out.
Yeah.
There are very few people that are actually like racist. And sometimes you have people
Think it's
who are
few that are
racist.
racist?
You have people who are racist, but they don't know they're racist.
They don't know they're
and they
racist.
just say little things to be funny and jokey.
Or they do
like
certain
we know
things.
somebody who does that, and like you know,
We do?
so yeah. Anyways,
Who?
we're
Put 'em
not
on
gonna-
blast?
no, I'm not gonna say anything. But you know, there are people out there
I know
who
who you talking
who
about.
just who say little things, and it's like. And it's like, bro, that's not funny. Like,
yeah.
so you just, you know, you just go with it.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, I mean, those people are being weeded out. So,
but to your point, just before we
go ahead.
switch, with Don Lemon again, I do think that the MAGA use any black person. I think it's by design. If they want to be a part, I think they do make sure to put the camera on them, because if you look at their inauguration and Democrat inauguration, especially when Obama won, it looked like a correlation of a multitude of different nationalities of people, which really that's what America really is. But then when you look at theirs, it's just straight white. You may see a few black or maybe one or two Hispanics, but just a sea of white. So they want to definitely put them, or when Trump's speaking,
Oh, yeah, they
try
put
to
them right behind
Put
him.
them right behind them. They
Yeah.
do that. Oh, that's
so from that
by
aspect, he's
design.
right.
Yes, he's definitely right.
But I think from the aspect of there's no sincere, like, MAGA people, like people who are all about Trump, I think that's wrong.
Oh, so you think there are some?
There
people who
are
all about
sincere
Trump?
MAGA people. I've met them, and
Okay, you've met 'em.
I've talked to them.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, like there are black people who get down with that. And-
like the whites who you see. I haven't met them. I met black people who thinking about the bottom line was their pocket. But I have met Republicans before Trump, and who were Republicans. Nobody didn't care. Nobody didn't care.
Yeah. A lot of people were mad at Bill Maher for saying that could be insulting to people. And
It's
the way that he was kind of
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to Don Lemon. What did you think about people being mad about that?
It's a damn skit. It's funny. it's comedy. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a damn.
But I don't think he was being funny at that moment. But, you know.
What? No.
But, you know-
the skit was being funny.
What?
He said in the skit with
Oh, yes.
Tom Hanks. That's
Yeah,
what it's
the
about.
Tom Hanks skit.
Yeah, which
Okay,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks is one of my favorite actors, and I know
Yeah.
Tom Hanks was doing a comedy skit, and he wore the MAGA hat, and he refused to shake the person's hand.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if that's the case, then dude, look at Key and Peele. Remember he did the skit where he was Obama, and he was like, when he got to the black
Oh,
people,
yeah.
bring it in. He dapped him up, and the white people, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Bring it in, my brother. You feel that? You feel that? You know, and he would.
Right.
Then the white person tried to go shake his hand. He Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. It's a skit. It's funny as comedy. Dude, and Bill Maher, you are a comedian. Come on, man. And you say you didn't even vote for Trump. You sound like you offended.
I mean, more and more, I agree with Bill Maher about a lot of the things with the Democrats, just because, I mean, look at Chuck Schumer.
What, that they weak?
Oh, yeah, they are. Did you
time.
not see the 29% approval rating? Worst
Yes.
in history for the Democratic Party?
Dude.
And the fact that we can't really talk about this, and if you talk about it, people make you
tell you
seem
something,
like
bro.
you're like a Trump supporter.
Bruh.
It's like, no, I'm just trying to like bring this out and show people.
Democratic
So
Party is going to be another Republican. If Trump don't leave office,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have Trump again. But if he do leave office, it's going to be another Republican. Mark my words. We're going to get another Republican.
you think so? You don't think
Yes.
the Democrats have
Dude,
anybody that
they
can step up
have
to the plate?
no unity. When Al Green stood up and said what he said about Medicare, that Trump had mandates against Medicare, and when they kicked him out, so now he's being reprimanded, right? What is it? I forget what they call it. But they have to vote that, right? 10 of his own party Democrats vote for him to be reprimanded. What kind of shit is that? That's no union. But I guarantee you Republicans won't do that, regardless if it's the truth, if it's a lie, if it even sound outlandish. He can wake up and tell you that, Donald Trump said that 30,000 ostriches flew over the ocean. And even though they know it's bullshit, but they still going to back him.
What'd you think of Chuck Schumer doing that, though? He sided basically with
the budget for the
to keep the government going.
First, because a lot of people got far forward with him because beforehand he said he wouldn't do it. Then he turned around and then he said, you know what? Because he feel that more people can get hurt by closing the government.
A lot of people are saying that he should step down today. Do you believe in that?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Honestly, I think, man, if you are old, period, I don't want to do old. All y'all need to step down, man. You need young blood. And that's go for the Republican too. Once you so damn old, why are you old making laws for younger people? You don't eat. You're not even in their generation. You don't even relate. You know, like I saw when they had those when they called out the CEOs of Google, and they were saying, why is it that when they search Donald Trump, that this such come up? He said, well, sir, they're searching, and then because of a certain image or meme, he's not saying that we're not physically putting it up there. That's what just comes up in this, and you can tell these people are somewhat out of touch with the nuance of things. I mean, dude, think about it. Even your mom know everything or the nuances of what's going on now. My mother don't know. No. My mother don't know all these stuff. My mother like 74 years old. And do she care to know? No. She just want to know enough to what she can do. And I get it, or whatever I help her with or something. I mean, some stuff she do know, but she ain't trying to go all out like my little nephew who like 10 years old and do all this stuff here on computers and things like that. But I think a lot of them all of them need to step down. They're just too old, man. They need fresh blood in there, man. People who fired up and ready to work and roll up their sleeves and get their elbows dirty.
Who's your candidate? A lot of people are throwing out a lot of different names for 2028. Some people are saying Shapiro. Some people are saying Fetterman. Some people are saying AOC. Some people are saying Jasmine.
Yeah,
I think I asked you this last time.
Yeah, I like Jasmine. I like it because because they Jasmine, they don't back down, man.
Yeah.
They speak it like
nobody really knew who she was though until recently.
Well, no.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't really know her.
Man. You remember what her with
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The bad built body.
Yeah, but did you know her before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, trust me.
All right, go ahead.
But the problem is, the Democratic Party won't put none of them up front.
I know.
They won't do it.
I know.
They won't. They'll probably stick a old white man or old white woman up there and say, oh yeah, this is democracy. This is all democracy. Like they're prestigious up in the Ivy League school, or you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody do something, you're not supposed to clap. Don't clap. Do not clap. And then if you do clap, don't clap loud. Like they sit down and eat they watercress sandwich and take their napkin and only dab the corners of their mouth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, Republicans gonna wash them, man. They gonna wash them.
And you're probably right.
They gonna wash them.
So.
And I think they know it. They know.
Who knows it?
The Democrat Party knows it.
They know they're gonna lose again.
Yeah, I think they know it, man.
Okay.
They know it.
All right. Well, let's talk about JFK, the JFK files. Let me see if I can find this clip.
Tomorrow, announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow.
Which is today?
Yeah, but by the time this goes up,
Yeah, it'll already be out.
It'll be out, and we'll know whether it was something, What are your initial thoughts on all of this being possibly released? The JFK files. It's something that a lot of people have made conspiracies about, that we've talked about for so long. I mean, JFK is like something that a
Dude,
lot of people think about.
They talk about. I saw so many documentaries. I saw some documentaries on. They even implement the JFK murder in X-Men. They were saying that Magneto, because he controlled metal, he was. Remember, they kept saying it was a magic bullet that went head and flipped it.
Yeah.
They had it with Magneto actually trying to remove the bullet.
Really?
You probably don't watch it, but yeah, that was even implemented in X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Or Marvel. That's why I like Marvel, y'all. It's showing my nerd side, but yeah, that's why I like Marvel. I don't know, man. I know Trump said that things won't be redacted. I don't know. I mean, will the government, if it is an inside thing, will the government put? I mean, they could put it out there because I mean, ain't nothing we can do.
Yeah.
That was before I was born. That was in the '60s. So what happened in Dallas, right? So is that the same place where MLK got killed in Dallas?
No, MLK got killed somewhere else.
You
I don't
sure?
think it was Dallas. No, it wasn't Dallas.
It wasn't Dallas? Was it what hotel, whatever hotel it was?
No, it had to be like in the South, right?
You don't think Dallas is in the South?
No.
It's Texas.
Yeah, that's
the
not the
South.
South.
Oh my God. Did you hear this? Texas is the South, my dude. What are you talking about? That's the South.
It was in Memphis.
It was
Yeah,
in
I knew it
Memphis.
wasn't.
Okay, it was Memphis. Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. But, okay, so the JFK files. He signed executive order to release the JFK files and also the MLK files, right? So my thought is this. Why stop there, President Trump? Release the Malcolm X files because the CIA got files on that, right? Release that. Release the files on Fred Hampton. You know what I mean? Because the police, along with the FBI,
They don't want to do all that. They don't want to do all that now.
Really? Come on, now. Show them about how corrupt the system is and how they don't want a black messiah.
They want a good American.
Yeah.
Like MLK or
Come on now.
JFK. That's the only thing they're going to do it
Come
for.
on, yeah. Release it and show them how COINTELPRO work.
No, they're not going to do anything for Fred
That's
Hampton.
what I say.
Fred Hampton went against the system. You know, some of these other people went against the system.
Fred Hampton didn't go
So,
against the system.
I mean,
No,
he
he
was
did
doing
not.
things that you're not supposed to do,
What? But like what?
like bringing a bunch of people together. Now, that may sound like conspiracy theorists. No, because, all right, go ahead. What do you,
No.
go ahead.
No, that's exactly what he did.
Okay,
He
that's
brought
what I'm saying.
people together, but that's something that they didn't want to happen.
But bringing a bunch of different groups
Yes.
together. And that's the
that's
key.
not illegal. That's what J. Edgar Hoover did not want, because how can the elite stay the elite if you got the people at the bottom not divided and they come together? You know, which was genius, which was smart. That was very smart on his part. That's what Fred Hampton did.
Yeah, I mean, he was bringing in even people from the KKK, all this other
even
stuff.
what- 'cause
He had everybody
yes.
organized.
And I was like,
so that's
dude,
why they
that's
took him
like,
out. So
they took him out, exactly. Because they realized, look, man, we at the bottom,
Yeah.
we fighting each other for crumbs, but they at the top, sitting in the big house looking down at us. And I guess when he talked to them, he realized, like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, a lot of us unites us than what divides us. You know, you just looking at the outward appearance of a person, but at the end of the day, we all got the same struggles, especially if we not in the 1%, you know.
yeah, I think the things that we're going to find in this JFK file is going to be very interesting, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. And I think for the first time in history, I think a lot of people are going to be like, dang, you know?
You think the government?
Because, you know, there's too much evidence. I mean, too many people have talked about it. Too many people believe in this theory that, you know, the government had something to do with it. But also that, like, the mob was involved. I mean, I've heard, you know, tons of interviews about people talking about these things. And so the fact that it's finally getting released and that things are going to be happening, I think this is, you know, this shows that it's going to get released more so than something like the Epstein list, because the Epstein list, that's more current.
No, they ain't going to release that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to release it
They're
because
not
it's
gonna
too
release that.
current. There's too much.
And if they
there's too many
do,
people involved.
They're going to redact some things out of that.
Yeah, they
Definitely gonna
could.
release
But
that.
but you know, what we're hearing is that there are people who are holding it back. And
What, holding
actually
back
there's
JFK?
and I don't know how true this is. No, I'm talking about the Epstein one.
Oh.
I don't know how true it is, but they're saying that there's specifically a certain senator who is holding things back and making sure nothing gets out.
Were you scared to see his name?
No, I mean I don't know
you
what
know
his
who it
name
is?
is.
Oh.
So if I had done my research, I would have kept the name down.
That's
But
interesting.
and I don't want to say the place that I found it because I don't want to platform that platform.
Brooks is going to look it up, and he's going to have all the details
No,
for you on the next podcast.
I know, but like, yeah. I mean, I know where to find it. I don't know the person's name, but I know where to find it, and I'm not going to platform that. I think it's interesting, but I think hopefully this JFK stuff does get released, and it's, I think it's going to be a bombshell. Yeah. And I think that it's finally coming. So we're finally getting it. I'm so happy that it's here. And there's 80,000 documents that people have to go through.
Yes, and a lot of people are not going to go through all that.
And so, yeah, I mean,
some people will, but
I mean, they are though. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to summarize.
The average person is not.
Yeah, the average person is not.
Yeah. Do you think
all we want is a summary?
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody got time to be going through 80,000
we were with 80. So, what is it? We were going to ADD over here.
Yeah.
So do you think the government was behind it? It was inside.
I think so, yeah. I mean, when you look at the history, I mean, I know everybody gets weird because it's like a conspiracy, but conspiracy theories are always a theory until it becomes truth, okay? And so I think we're going to find out that it was true. We are going to find out that, all this stuff happened. And it's quite sad that it happened. I mean, it just goes back to you can't really trust the government. And I know a lot of people in today's world, they're all about trusting the government. Yeah. They're all about, paying taxes and all this other stuff. And the government is the one that we have to...
Not the wealthy.
Yeah, I know that.
No, definitely not the wealthy. Everybody get wealth.
I feel like there's too much of us relying on the government. And I think especially a lot of the, people who aren't as well off.
Right.
They are relying on the government to help them. Yeah. And, but some of these programs and different things and stuff like that. Like I can't, but I mean, we can't blindly go for the government, obviously, because we know that not only did this happen, you brought up a bunch of different people that this happened to. Yeah. Okay, where the government had operatives involved with taking down these political figures. Think about that.
Huey Newton.
The government was involved with taking down these political figures because they felt like they had too much power. And they said, no, we're not going to let you do that. So you had all these people that the government was taking down in the 60s. They said, no, we're not going to let this person get up there. People like Medgar Evers, all these people.
Oh, I forgot about Medgar Evers.
They had to take them down, okay? I mean, that should tell you. And then they covered it up. That's another thing. Nobody wants to talk about these cover-ups. Yeah. Because that's really where it's like, okay, we're getting into a little bit shaky, a shaky place.
Or the man who shot Medgar Evers, they knew he did it. But he was found innocent amongst the all-white jury of his peers. So
they cover it up.
That's the dirty South for your ass right there. So.
I don't know if you heard about the twins just recently.
The twins
in Georgia.
I don't know.
There was these two twins, and I honestly, I'm just bringing this up. I don't really know that much about it, but these two black twins who were found in the mountains. They were supposed to be going somewhere. They were flying somewhere. They were found in the mountains, killed. And they tried to say that, one of the twins killed the brother and then killed himself. So they were saying that there was a unaliving there.
Why are they even in the mountains?
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was in a sundown town, they found out, too.
How long ago was this?
This was recently, maybe like a week or two ago.
They still have sundown towns in this?
Oh, yeah, they still have them.
Wow, they're still around. America isn't racist. Come on now.
But anyways, not to talk too much again.
But back with JFK, why, if you feel it was an inside thing, why do you think the government did it?
Why did they do it?
Yeah, why did they
do it? There was a lot of stuff going on with JFK. He didn't want to go into war. And, back in the day when the Democrats weren't about war. No, I'm just kidding. Right. No, he didn't want to go into war. And so that's really why they came after him,
You
and
think so?
he didn't do some of the things that they wanted him to do. And like if you look into all of that, I think it's the I don't want to misquote it, but it's the Cuban Missile Crisis, I believe, or something like that. Something happened with that, and then he didn't want to get into the Vietnam War, and so ultimately they had to take him out. But also you have to remember, this is why I know a lot of people don't like RFK Jr., but he's very similar to JFK. JFK was one of those people who was like, we're going to take down the people in government who were doing weird stuff, and, you know, we're going to change that. And a lot of those people in government were like, no, you're not. And so ultimately they took him out. I used to look into all this stuff. I used to be well versed in all this stuff just because conspiracy theories, I think, are always interesting, especially as a filmmaker, you know, to kind of, you know, look at and get to know. But yeah. Anyways.
I mean, I don't know. My thought, maybe they took him out because almost like he was people's. I think the party was starting to shift. A lot of blacks was coming.
Yeah, that
on
too.
The Democratic side, and the party was shifting. Yeah. And the message he was giving, like, he was definitely going to be for the people.
Yeah, he was kind of a radical.
Yeah,
back
he
then,
was a radical,
you know?
right? Exactly.
Some of the things he was trying to do and implement.
That, you know, because you know they never want blacks to ever. I can't say succeed because some blacks succeed, but the mass majority of them to, you know, to rise up, because I guess like J. Edgar Hoover would say, it'll be a threat to our way of life. But black people are we're not going to rise up and try to take over the government or anything like that. That's
ultimately,
that's not black people's.
Ultimately, there was a lot of variables, right? There were a lot of things that led to him being assassinated. Yeah. So I think it's interesting. But yeah, we should probably move on to.
But real quick, because they opened up his and they also did MLK, right?
Okay.
But you know, MLK family sued the government. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They won. Yeah. So the government pretty much admit, yeah, we killed your father.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to say that JFK, Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Malcolm
X. Well, they suing.
Yeah, I know they're suing.
And the police.
Yeah.
So they probably won't even touch that right now if that's going through litigation. But you know, hey, I'm just saying. Leave your racist comments down below and let us know what you think.
All right, we have like 2 minutes left. I do want to touch on Drake.
You want
Why
pause?
you
You want to touch on him?
Oh my gosh, this guy.
You better talk about his boo.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't mean boo as in
I just want to give an update because we haven't really talked about how Drake made a new album.
Who he made it with?
Playboy Cardi. And basically it was kind of a Valentine's Day album. You know, it's called Some Sexy Songs for You. And so, but basically that album, a lot of people thought that it was going to do like only 100. It was only going to sell like 100 and something thousand
it's
units.
Doing well.
But it ultimately did like 280 units, and also it helped Drake tie Jay-Z's record of #1 albums. I believe they have 14 apiece. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it kind of catapulted him when people thought that he was down. I don't know if you listened to the album. What did you think of it?
No, I think I just heard a song.
Okay.
He was singing somebody "I Miss You" or something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember that from Aaron Hall from Guys.
Right. Give Me a Hug is that song.
Oh, that's what it's called? Give Me a Hug?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's that one. That's the one that's like popping off. A lot of people like that one.
Okay.
A lot of people like the Who's Calling That Shit?
Oh, yeah.
I know you heard that. Who's Calling That Shit?
No, I haven't.
And it's like a, it's like a very catchy song. But we can't play it here.
Right. But yeah, also too, this is a strange segue from JFK to Drake. But yeah, since we're here, I don't know. I heard about that lawsuit thing with.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you?
I didn't hear the album. I just heard that song today.
Was
but I heard
it good?
Some people say that the.
What do you think? What do you think of him being able to hit those numbers though? A lot of people said he couldn't do it.
No, I'm not.
They thought it was over.
Oh man,
He got 280,000.
Look, if you go back
Number
to other
one,
podcasts,
tied with Jay-Z, yeah.
Even though he lost the battle, I said Drake will be good. Drake is fine. Drake is a star. He's gonna do numbers. He's still got the ladies. The ladies still love him. You know, he's still pretty beige and light skinned. You know, with little baby hair. So Drake, it will be all right. Drake is fine. He just lost the rap battle. That's all. He lost the rap battle. But go ahead, get into that litigation.
Yeah, so they filed, UMG filed a petition to have Drake's lawsuit shot down. And they actually used some of his own lyrics against him inside of the litigation. And they basically said, listen, he's the one who put this forth. He's the one that wanted the smoke. And, you know, was actually calling for it in tailor-made, which is true. And doing all these different things. But, you know, ultimately they're saying, like, they have no... They didn't do anything wrong.
They did not do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he think they were pushing that album out, but they literally said, dude, we push your album out too. You know what I'm saying? If you blew up, we would put you the same way. You know, the algorithm spoke. That's what it was, you know, and it's, you know. But I think, man, like, honestly, because Drake lost the rap battle, hey, it ain't, you know, hey, people win, people lose rap battle. Jay-Z lost to Nas. But look, he's still thinking he the best rapper ever, so he say, right? Not my opinion, not knocking Jay, but you know, he got some music I like, but I still like I ride with Nas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think what hurt your boo.
Oh my God!
I think it hurt your boo Aubrey. I think because he did this lawsuit, and that made it even worse, dude. Okay, yeah, you lost the rap, but y'all both said derogatory things about one another, and I get it. That's rap beef. Yeah. It don't necessarily be based on facts. You know, you're trying to see who can hit the lowest and hit the hardest, right? That's what they do when they do these. You ever see these rap battles when they be battling? They go to okay, cool. Y'all both still made money off your albums, right? Y'all still made money. When he did this lawsuit, he should have just go ahead and said, okay, you know it is. When he said he was done with it, I said, okay, cool. I didn't think, oh man, ain't nobody gonna mess with Drake no more. I said, no, dude gonna be fine. Drake make music I like. I'm just not a fan of so much of the ballads. Hell, he ain't singing to me. He might be singing to you. But he make music I like. You. He make music I like. I didn't think that when he went up with that lawsuit like that, you know,
I think ultimately
it hurt him. It hurt his credibility.
Because The Weeknd just came out with his album too, or something, a single or whatever, and it sounds just like some songs from Drake as well. I mean, let's call it what it is. Drake is the GOAT. And here's how you know you're the GOAT. When they tried everything, they brought out everybody. You had The Weeknd, you had Kendrick Lamar, you had Rick Ross, you had all these different rappers. Not only that, he was going up against UMG, the big dog, right? He had all these people against him. And a lot of people thought that they were going to be able to kill him, because I think that's what's getting lost in the lawsuit is that, listen, guys, the reason why he brought this lawsuit is because UMG didn't want to pay him money, okay? And so they had to damage his image. And so they took somebody like Kendrick Lamar, used him to come after Drake so that they could damage his image. But you saw Drake has been selling out in Australia and doing all these different things. He just had this #1 album, hit album. And you realize that all these people tried to take him down, yet he still stands. Yet he's still the GOAT. And he hasn't been stopped. And they can't stop him. And he's going to break Jay-Z's record when he makes a new album this year. Get ready, because he's going to prove again that he's the GOAT. And I know y'all don't want to say it, but that's how you know you are. Dude, you know I'm preaching. You know I'm preaching.
Can you take your cape off, please?
Hold on. First of all, you know I'm preaching because they tried everything. They brought out everybody.
You know, you said
yet
something
he still stands. He still stands.
You said something contradictory.
Go ahead. What did I do? What did I say? Because we only got a minute. Go ahead.
You said that
30 seconds.
They used Kendrick.
They did.
Drake one called for this beef. Not Kendrick.
No. Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. Kendrick was jealous of Drake.
Drake dissed Kendrick
Kendrick was
first.
jealous of Drake.
Drake dissed Kendrick
Drake
first.
was trying to put him on.
How many songs did he didn't have to put Kendrick? How many songs did Drake do before Kendrick even responded?
Just remember, there was
how many songs?
no Kendrick without Drake.
How many
Kendrick would still be around, but he would be an underground rapper.
How many songs
Go ahead.
did Drake do before Kendrick responded? And remember, you was on there saying, like, I don't know what's up with your boy. He won't say nothing. He's scared.
He did 2 songs.
All right, Drake called for the beef.
No, he didn't.
Lost.
No,
yes,
he didn't.
He did.
It's okay,
yes,
though.
He did, man.
It's okay, though. We don't have to get back into that.
Who called for the beef?
All that
Drake
matters
called
is
for the
right
beef.
now, he got a
lost.
#1 hit with a album that you're not supposed to. A collab album. You're never supposed to get a #1 hit with that. But he did.
You can.
He wasn't supposed to sell out the way that he did.
It's
Without any
Drake.
promotion, he
Drake
didn't
still
have
got
UMG
fans.
behind him. There was no promotion. He promoted it on his Instagram. But we have to go. Go ahead.
Still got fans. It's Drake.
20 seconds.
It's Drake. He got fans.
Okay. Listen, he won. It's okay.
He's a sore loser.
Nobody wants to really
He
listen.
lost the battle, but he's still doing chart numbers, but he lost the battle.
One man's hate for another man is what this beef was about. And his ability, Kendrick's ability to manipulate the masses into thinking that he won this beef.
You know what?
But it's okay.
Real quick, before
Go
we
ahead.
wrap, you know what you remind me of?
Who?
You remember in Django?
Oh my God, here we go.
When they shot
That's it.
Calvin,
We're out.
You Steven. Calvin!
No,
That's
no,
you.
no.
Drake! Oh, Lord, Drake!
guy.
That's you. You Steven.
No,
Django.
no.
You
Stop
Steven.
it. Stop it. You know it's true.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm
But
Brooks.
I'm Hendrix, and we are out.
We
Just
out.
do the rushing us. Peace.